If I look at a global scale, I would say that we, as leaders, we think we need to bridge gaps. And what is inherent in that philosophy is that we're separated.
Mm.
As a musician, music is based on sound, which is vibration, and two or more simultaneous vibrations is harmony. And harmony implies that we are already united. Albert Einstein said that everything in life is vibration. You're here, I'm here. You vibrate, I vibrate. It's simultaneous. We are already connected. And I think leaders would do well to understand that we are connected. Now, what do we want to do with our connection? And not
Uh-huh.
how is it that we have to unify people? We're already unified. And harmony is a law of physics. It's not just a pretty idea, let's get along. No, it's a law of physics. We are, Beverly, you and I are already together. What shall we do with it? Okay, let's do a podcast. Let's talk about that.
Wow. Yes, when you simplify it like that, the penny really drops. So yeah, and it's good to think of everybody as one and already unified. That's
We are,
great.
yeah. And the next step with unity is, what do we want to do with it? What is our perspective? If you and I have a perspective that's similar, let's do a podcast, then we move forward with that. Then how we grow that is through synchronicity. You're an entity, I'm an entity, and we unify our vibrations. Then we can say, okay, I agree on this. And then you and I have a more profound connection. And also with your podcast, you're dealing with resonance, which means you're putting it out there to the greater population so that more people can enjoy and enjoy and enjoy their unity. So that's what I would say to leaders, that let's start with the understanding that we are already united. Now what?
That's good. And can you share a success story where your collaborative approach made a significant impact on a client?
Sure. I've been working with the Project Managers International in Europe, and working with them. And what's happening? They're going to have a congress next year, and they're going to call their congress "Orchestrating Unity." So they're catching on to the idea that, okay, let's start at the beginning where we're together. And I think it's such a helpful concept. It's a positive concept rather than we're separated. So we're working with that in the executive realm of training has proved to be very helpful. Yeah.
That's awesome. And how do you adapt your message for culturally diverse audiences? Because in your international speeches, because I know that you've spoken in many countries.
This is a great question. This is a great question. There is always a point of agreement. There's always a point of agreement. You talk about diverse cultures. I'll talk about very briefly about the culture of my family. We have a big holiday in the United States called Thanksgiving. And we get together, we have feminists, we have fascists, we have liberal people, we have very conservative people in my family. I mean, it's a cultural collection. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
The catch for me is to find something that we all agree on, and that is food. If we can start at a point where we agree on something, anything, it doesn't matter, then our body starts producing hormones of dopamine rather than cortisol. We relax, and we can have a little bit of a dialogue. Maybe we won't reach this level in one meeting, but we'll go from here to here. and we've begun a little bit of dialogue. We've become a little bit of understanding. I was on a board of a global organization for intercultural organization and understanding. And they always talked about bridging the gap.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion for myself, let's not bridge the gap. Let's start where we agree and take it from there.